Welcome to Dairy Pod, a podcast series from Dairy Australia. Featuring a range of experts, each episode offers insights into Australia's unique dairy farming conditions, as well as personal experiences and the latest in dairy innovation.
Hello and welcome to Dairy Pod. I'm Carly Potts from Dairy Australia. In this episode, we'll be discussing career opportunities and staff retention within the dairy industry. I'm joined by Jade Pepper from Wallis Dairy in Bega, New South Wales. Thanks for your time, Jade. Before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your pathway into the dairy industry?
Yep. So my name's Jade Pepper. I live in Bega. I moved here about 7 or 8 years ago. I used to live in the Riverina. I've had no background in dairy or agriculture. I was in school last year and the opportunity for a school-based traineeship came up in the dairy industry, and they reckoned I should give it a go. That's kind of where I am now.
That's great. Thanks, Jade. We love hearing about people new to the industry. Why did you choose to take on the school-based traineeship, and did anyone influence your decision to do that?
I was not enjoying school at all. I was wanting to move or drop out, start TAFE. I was going to look at doing my Certificate 3 in agriculture while still attending school, but that was going to cost $3,000 or $4,000 just to do it online. And my careers advisor came up with the idea of doing this traineeship. So it was fully funded.
So your career advisor sort of suggested it. Not coming from an agricultural background, what did your parents say when you said you wanted to do a school-based trainee in dairy?
Well, my mum grew up on a farm. My grandparents own a beef and sheep property in Tumut. So from growing up in that kind of industry for her and seeing how her mum was in it, she didn't really want me to go into agriculture because she knew it was quite a hard industry, very full on, a lot of work. But she knew I always wanted to do something with animals. I've always been really, really passionate about animals and just caring for them. So she knew this would be a good opportunity for me. I've always wanted to be a vet, but I can't exactly do that just yet. So this is kind of one pathway into that through the dairy industry and the agricultural industry. And it's definitely not what I thought, the dairy industry. I thought it was just milking cows and pretty much that, but I do all sorts of things, tractor work, a lot of animal husbandry and caring for calves, and that's really helped me with experience for if I do want to become a vet nurse or go work on a station and that kind of thing. Dad was really supportive. He didn't like that I was missing a lot of school because he's a school teacher, but he definitely realised how much happier I was when I started the traineeship. I'd come home saying, I did this at the farm today. I did this in TAFE, and it wasn't how was school. It was great. Yeah.
That's really great, Jade. And was it a popular choice at your school? Were there any other students who commenced the traineeship with you?
It was actually only me and another student at the time. We were in the same year. He actually is next door neighbours with the farm I work at. It was just going to be us. And then by the end of the year, I think there was about 6 or 7 of us. So once they all found out what I was doing and the experience I was gaining, they were like, that sounds good, I might give it a try. And for some of them, it was also a way to get out of school.
Well, I think maybe
quite popular, yeah.
That's excellent. That's really good. And you've finished school now, so are you working full-time on the dairy?
Yeah, so I finished year 10 last year. the traineeship definitely helped influence that. I know it's not really meant to, it's more meant to keep you in school, but I just realised I'd found my passion through the traineeship, and I left school. I've started full-time on the dairy farm, and I'm also completing my Cert 3 in dairy production. So I work 4 days a week and then do TAFE 1 day a week.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you think that your transition from school into the workforce was easier because you were familiar with the expectations of the industry and your employer through the school-based traineeship?
Definitely. It definitely helped. Like, even though 1 day a week and 4 or 5 days a week is so different, it definitely shows you what you're going to do once you leave. And I know for some of the people who did the traineeship, they decided it's not what they thought. It's actually a lot harder work than what they thought, and that they could pursue it maybe part-time, but they don't want to go into it full-time like they thought they wanted to. Whereas for me, like, as I said before, you just get a snapshot of what it's like working, but I really enjoyed it. I went from doing 1 day a week to on school holidays, being at the farm every day, almost every day. It definitely helped, and getting to know all the different farmers around the area. I went to 2 farms on my traineeship. The first one is the farm I work at now. But just going to the different farms, it gives you a completely different perspective of work, because like the one I'm on now is a rotary. I went to a herring buy and they operate completely differently, even though they're only next door to each other. The traineeship definitely helped. I don't reckon I'd be where I am without doing it.
Wow, that's fantastic. So you've touched on meeting other people in the industry and in the region. So how important are the friendships and support that you make on farm and in the region important? How important are they in keeping you in the dairy industry, do you think?
I think it's definitely really, really important. Like, especially in the Bega Valley, everyone's such a small little community. Everyone knows everyone. Making those connections, like if you wanted to get a new job, they just know you, know how you work.
So meeting other people in the region probably helps, you keep focused on your job and you realise that those connections are important maybe in the next step in your career as well.
Yeah. It definitely is, especially in Bega we've got the Young Dairy Network. Our group leader, Sammy Smith, she's really good at like getting all the younger farmers around and meeting everyone. That was one really good opportunity that I got from working in the traineeship, getting to be a part of that and meeting new people.
That actually was one of the questions I had for you, Jade. So, I know your employer is actually an industry trainer, and they really encourage and facilitate involvement from their staff in the Young Dairy Network workshops and outings as much as possible to ensure that you feel a sense of belonging in the community and with your peers and co-workers. So you see that as an important step to retaining young people in the industry?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Like in Bega, we've got so many young people around my age and a little bit older who just work on the farm and don't really know a lot of people out of that as such, or know a lot of the younger farmers their age. Like before I went to my first Young Dairy Network event, I probably only knew the people I did TAFE with and the people I've worked on farm with. And then I think the first one I attended, there was about 20, 30 people at it. And I just, met so many other people my age. And I think the dairy group in Bega is really, really good for us being able to socialise and meet other people and talk about what we do at our jobs. And
that's excellent. So Yeah, you mentioned that you would be interested to maybe become a vet in the future. Do you have any career champions, Jade? Like, who would you turn to for advice and support if you needed it with your career?
Definitely my boss, Darren, for one. He's kind of been like, he's not just a boss, he's been a really good teacher for me. He's taught me most of the things I know. Like, he's pretty much only had experience in the dairy industry, but I still really, I don't know, I guess kind of look up to him, and like, he sees my potential and some of the things I can't see. So if I don't think I can do something, a lot of the times I can ask him and he actually goes, I think you're fairly capable to do them. He's definitely one person. And Tracy, his wife, like, she's my TAFE teacher. She knows me on farm and off farm. She sees a lot of my potential as well. I would say they're the main ones, and yeah, just a few of the people we work with and all the people we get to see at events. Yeah.
That's great. It sounds like you're in a really supportive environment in the farm that you're working on. And obviously I think that has a lot to do with probably how you feel about the industry, feeling so supported on farm. You're obviously a really strong advocate for the industry, the fact that you said that you started your traineeship with 2 people and then all these others came on board. So what is it that you say to someone who's considering a job in the dairy industry?
I would say it's definitely not what you'd think it would be. Like, yes, it's quite a bit of work. It can be long hours. You do have to milk cows. But it's also, for me, a lot of fun. Like, as I've said before, it's my passion, animals, and being able to look after calves and cows and just spend the day with them. The people in the industry are some of the best people I've ever met. Like, they're just genuine and really passionate about their jobs. It can be a lot of fun, like learning all these things. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I agree that it's some of the best people I've ever met are from the dairy industry too, Jade. What would you say to a dairy farmer who needed extra staff about taking on a school-based trainee and what they might bring to their business?
I would definitely say give it a go. Like, a lot of the people that attend the program are farm kids wanting to get out of school, or kids that are really passionate about the industry and want to give it a go, but they just don't really know where to start. And obviously they're not going to know a lot and as much as a full-time worker would, but you've got the ability to be able to train them and to teach them your way, and like, just for them to learn how to farm, but you're able to teach them, I guess. And it is like, you don't get them for free. You do still have to pay them, but I just think it's a really good way for you to be able to teach the next generation, and for you to be able to train up possibly your own worker in the future, like what happened with me. Like, some people might not be in it for the right reasons, and then some trainees might not actually want to join the dairy industry or the agriculture industry, and you might help them realise that, or you might take off their passion as such, and then you might end up with your next worker.
Yeah, and I think that gets returned in loyalty as well, and it's pretty special being part of someone's career path, I think, and really helping them shape and learn what it is that they want to do. So Yeah, that's great, Jade. Thank you so much for your time today. I think it's a really great story that you share about leaving school early and having your dad being a teacher and not being so supportive of that idea. Yet, yes, you've left school early, but you've gone on continuing your education and looking to do more study, and we're so excited that future looks like it will be with the dairy industry. So thank you so much, Jade. I'll check in with you later and see how you're going with your studies and the industry.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining today's Dairy Pod episode. We hope you found it enjoyable and insightful. For more information, check out the episode notes. You can stay up to date by following Dairy Pod on your favourite podcast platform. To get in touch, visit dairyaustralia.com.au. Until next time, take care.